And now I'm just a pathetic little nerd with my floating knife, and I can maybe fly at them to catch up a little bit. And if I'm lucky, maybe once in a blue moon, I get mage hand value if they're at water tower or something. Outside of that, Lich, not a very good killer. Oftentimes, you're probably going to be seeing low to mid stages. You're looking like 5 or 6 stages. I would expect from Lich under this balancing on this map. Taking a look at the ping there, it did look like we had fairly normal NEA ping, so no one at 400 ping, which is good. So no restart should be happening here, which is excellent. Now, again, 0.5 penalty, so no Tycon possible. So, for example, if Bravo gets 8 stages, and then Sea Dragon follow up, and they also get 8 stages, win goes to Evo. Happy days. But we start off here with a chase onto Lin, and with a Mage Hand here, we should be able to get it, but instead we're being a greedy bastard and just going for the M1 instead of a very easy Mage Hand hold into an M1 there. So we've just been going here, another potential Mage Hand, but no, faking it doesn't quite work as Dustin will just be throwing it immediately, breaking the path straight away. 2 opportunities where Mage Hand could have been useful. Unfortunately, Bravo overthinking it a little bit, and this Dustin loves throwing paths, going for the lift here, the haste allowing us a M1, but we decide to double back around the chest, which has made the hit take a little bit longer, but rotating over to the Shack here, and now this is where the skulls should come in because it's slightly elevated, so we should be able to get a tag, but we should jump into the locker, which is a great play from our Dustin here, using fire to catch up, and all of our spells are now on cooldown. Oh, Dustin, unfortunately, forced to play around this pallet here. The fly push not really doing anything in favor for us. So we do vault backwards. We have Lithe as well, so that's going to allow us to rotate back into main. And so far, so good for Lin. Bravo going for a bit of a mind game, not quite working out in his favor as he rotates back down here. I think I heard someone rotating for a hit, but with a bit of a mage hand, we should be able to go for the tag here. And we do a 2 emote under the power, which does indicate to me that someone might be here for the power save. We're just insta-picking it, which is very brave for Bravo there, not to expect someone to be around, and Sakuda coming out of nowhere with the sprint burst to go for that power save, but we also net ourselves a tag for it. I do wonder if we're going for a cheeky little skeleton there, but we did see Lin pre-crouching the chase, so just trying to avoid the skeletons as quick as possible as we do get main building gen done here. With a nice little fly that we also take control of this power, so we should be able to get those skeletons, but no, Lin crouching just in time, playing around the power perfectly for ping. This is a fantastic play from Lin. Sea Dragons showing why they're in the semi-finals for the World Cup, but finally getting that mage hand value and saying it's 4,000 years to come out of that cooldown, and with that lift there, I don't think we're going to be seeing a power save, and overall, 2 gens done in the background, about to be a third. Sea Dragons are not fucking around, Chief.
Sea Dragons are definitely not fucking around. Unfortunately, the gen that is about to pop is the one we're hooking right next to. I do want to point out it was very interesting that Bravo did go for that insta-pick when he heard someone on the gen right next to him. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Maybe the nerves got to him. I wouldn't be too surprised, you know. I feel like a lot of the little micro movements that we have been seeing from him have felt a little bit nervy, you know, some of the swings through the pallet. We do get a lovely skulls tag there as well. That does mean we hit the BT of Lin. We're going to be playing around main now, fortunately for our survivor, which does give him basically the bandwidth you need to be able to last, right? We're going to drop to the bottom now, being able to make the window just in time. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get our swing back. Bravo will vault after him. We can play to the front main pallet. We might be able to lift it again. We do get the cancel this time. Beautiful knowledge from Bravo. The gen top mid still isn't going to pop. Sakuda's just going to leave it in time to prevent the tag. We're dead on the pallet still. Sakuda's going to bait around and last on this pallet, hopefully, but to no avail. That will be a tag right through it. We did also get a reverse drop, meaning we're zoned away because we can't just run right back for the pallet save, but Bravo is still nervous. He's wasting time now. He's not aware that our other 2 survivors are just on these gens, which, oh my word, and we've nearly gotten the beamer. We were just out of range. That could have been magical from Sakuda if we was just there in time, but we weren't by seconds.
Yes, Sakuda doing a good job there, not quite making the beamer save. I saw him picking up facing towards that generator, and the hairs on my neck stood up because I was like, Sakuda has beamer. He could just like run back into him and get him. And at this point, I think Bravo needs to play really, really aggressively because as you can see on the HUD, Effect and NEAs, both splitting those gens, getting the motors cranking, and it's looking scary. We have 3 high prog gens already. Like, it's not been that long, and it's really scary how on the money Sea Dragons are with the generators. Like, that first chase taking that long has just done wonders for Sea Dragon, and Bravo is just forced to camp it out because he's got a high prog gen, so he doesn't really need to leave it. He has Hanato here nearby. but another gen getting done in the background there at the water tower. They're on fire here, Sea Dragon. It's down to one generator. We're not going to be able to kill Lin here, I believe. Actually, we are going to be able to kill Lin because I don't think they make it back in time unless 70-second hook stages do scam us. I do think we are just barely going to be getting that pole, going immediately for the tag onto Lin that we just want to kill him as soon as humanly possible. But that gen right in front of main, if they just get on a triplet, I think it's just going to get done before we're able to get the down. We are able to cut off Lin a little bit, but we push him towards a window. This is our life base, so we're going to be able to run around a little bit around this tile, but no, we unfortunately get mind gamed. Excellent mind game there by Bravo, which will result in Lin's death. I think we just got to go back to the gen, but it gets done anyway. That gen is just booming. Oh my god, and we need to go for one of our injured survivors. We can't go for the kill onto Lin. We just got to settle for 5 or 6 stages. And an excellent skull from Bravo! That's what I want to see, big man! As we're chasing 11 down at this 1 pounder, we're able to go for another potential tag or down here. We could follow it up onto another kill, and we got 3 on the floor. We see Effect picking up Sukuda in the background, but we're just taking the fresh hook. We don't want to get too greedy. No, it's actually picking up onto Lin, which means we should be able to get 6-3 fresh, which is a great conversion from Bravo. Just that one skull has swept it on its head, and now we're getting a pretty decent result here, Chief.
Oh my word. My jaw has been on the floor since Sukuda was down by those skulls. That was incredible timing from Bravo. He's managed to secure, like you said, a pretty good result, like for your standard expected results on this map from this killer. From nothing, from literally nothing, he's managed to get 2 downs in the blink of an eye. It's an extra 2 stages, 2 freshes, and if we're not going to be able to save it, which to be fair, we do have 2 healthy survivors, we're probably going to be able to get one of them out the door somehow, unless Effect is caught out right now, which he has been, and we know the other survivors at 6, so this is where things get problematic. We might be able to cut Effect off and play for even more Monk. I'm not too sure how this is going to go. I don't know if we have anything at all. We're actually going to head all the way to this window at 9. We have the skulls and we have the M1 to take. We're not going to vault. We're going to take all our distance to the gate. But now you can just commit Effect. It will be another fresh hook if we're able to get the down. He does have some pallets in the way. We're not even going to play for it. We just think he's out. We don't have the fly to get there in time. We've seen the unhook come in the background. That was not the hook at the back of main is the other one. We're going to try and send the skulls to get the down. We do get the injure onto Lin. That's incredible. That's a trade. We're now going to... Please don't take this, bro. Thank you, Chase Nears. We do have BT. We have 15 seconds of BT to play around, which may be just enough to make it to the gate if we still have things up in the background. I'm not too sure. We do have the shack window. We aren't light, though, so we don't get any extra distance. We're going to have to play towards 5. I'm not too sure if we have any pallet here remaining. I know we have 4 tile. We haven't seen that used just yet. We're going to play to it. We have the pallet to play around. We're going to pre-drop it. Hold the check spot. We see Bravo heading into the inside. We're not too sure we have this either. We do. Lucky for Nears. He doesn't get the vault in time. That's another robbery. He's on the ground. That's another stage for Bravo. Exactly what you need. Unfortunate that it wasn't able to be Effect that we did get. So that will not be another fresh hook. But that is 5 stages on the board so far. Potential 4-6 if we are to leave. But look at this, Monk. We're getting the resets. We might just be playing for another one. Bravo, I think he's a bit wary that someone is stealthing around for a quick unhook if he goes to force him out, but I do think they might all just be resetting at gate. Oh,
we have a reset happening at main. Effect is in the gate. He's chilling out. You don't want to put Effect anywhere in the mid map because he's worth the most. And if Effect dies, that goes from 6-4 to like 6-3 just like a 9-4 or something. But it turns into a really good result actually for Lich. But if we're just able to kill NEA here, that'd be big. We do know that Sukuda and Lin are coming in. Ideally, they get him out healthy, but no, I think they've just realized that we just take it, screw it. And that's going to be 6-3 for Bravo against Sea Dragon. His computer blue screened, had to restart. Just generally a lot of problems on his PC. Mucking up our fly there as well, which is a shame. Not really going anywhere with that one. Also running 2 totems with no eruption this time, but we do have the pretty stock standard Mage Hand add-ons there. Boots to give us a little bit of haste when we do pull up a pallet, as well as the gloves to hold the pallets in place for a little bit longer. But we're up against Evo's Survivor lineup, so I'm expecting good things here, Chief.
No, I 100% agree. I am expecting some pretty good things, although I do think this might not be the Survivor you want to have in Chase first. This is Fiji, your regular killer player for Evo. Not generally a Survivor player, but obviously been feeling it recently. He's been on quite a few sets, though you do have your 1v1ers in anger. No Halo to be seen. He is unable to play this week, which means that you are losing a boon that you normally have in Chase, a very strong Chase Survivor. Mike, though, is nothing to slouch out his replacement. But something that we do need to explain as we do have this chase take its course around main, a very strong resource I'm sure will be lasting. Actually, we've just caught Mike out with his pants down all the way at 10. This will be a tag coming in, despite the fact Feature was able to avoid it for so long on the main building. We also see Jarms rotating in the mid-map as well. That's interesting. We did see Ruin Cleanse as well, I need to point out. But very, very quickly, we need to explain that we talked about how, you know, this is not Seadrag's pick. We thought it was, we thought it wasn't. Blah, 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 right? Turns out they didn't pick any set this week. So what ended up happening was they were too late to the pick and bans, meaning that Evolution were given free reign. They picked every set. So they picked Oni, they picked Lich, nearly forgot the name of the killer, that was cold, and they picked our tiebreaker of Blight, which explains why they are sets that kind of all favor the side of Evolution.
Yeah, favor is a strong word. Oni is an interesting choice because, as you said, we saw Pigs Oni in the World Cup against Portugal do fantastic things. So I am curious as to why they picked Oni. Maybe they want the challenge and the experience, but or they're just very confident in their own Oni play. Decent chase there from Mike. Unfortunately, forgetting to press his control key and getting hit with the skeletons at the water tower. Painter's hitting the Gallows generator and just kind of having to leave it with the rest there. But Evolution with a couple of high prog gens here. We do have Mike on a Painter's hook by the water tower as well. Right next to the Wretched Fate as well, so if Anger's looking for it, unfortunately, he's going to have to come really close to the hook here to try and find it, but it looks like he's just resigned to sitting on a generator. I think that would be the Gallows gen based off the progress. I thought Jarms was in there too, I'm not going to lie, but Jarms is actually rotating for the save right now, and this should be a trade, all things considered. He does dodge the skull, so it won't be a two-tap there for the big man. It will instead be a trade for Mike, but this was also a result of Anger's gen getting hit with Pain Res. So now we're 2 freshes, 2 hooks. We get the Pain Res, you use Slide to catch up to Mike, go for a ton of that. Ideally, Mike rotates over to main building and runs there for as long as humanly possible. But no, NF kind of forced to drop chase here and just go for some freshes. Trying to find Anger here, but unfortunately no dice as he does search around main building for another survivor. And he knows Mike is nearby here, but Skull's still on cooldown for a little bit. Anger back on the gen. I dare say FJ will be rotating for that save onto Jarms. Breaking the breakable wall at the front of main, though we also have Anger getting his Wretched Fate before FJ getting the Wretched Fate before going for Jarms there. NF seems to be struggling with this fly spell a little bit. We saw some blood on the floor there, but I don't think NF saw where Mike had gone, and he's going to be able to rotate around main building, and he just has free reign here. He's had so much distance, and unfortunately fly not really working out for NF. Maybe he's on a bit of ping, maybe he's lagging a little bit, and just struggling to really navigate with the fly, but it looks like Mike instead opting to rotate over to 1 and just die corner, but a bit of poor pathing is going to result in the tag, but no! Actually, we're just going to be... That's not where the vault is, mate. The vault's right there, and we do vault down. We drop. I don't know where NF is. He has decided to walk around, so thankfully we don't get tagged down. We do make it to the window, but we don't really have a lot of resources as we just have a stinky format. But Mike with the double vault there is going to pay off in dividends, as we are going Bloodlust 1 and rotating over. I don't think we have a part available to us, so we're just going to be dying. Really unfortunate for Mike there. Just no resources over by 1 here, and we're just going to be dying. But we are away from the gens, which is a great boon for Evolution. Looking at the stats, we do have 3 hooks and 2 freshes, and it's not... I'm dying.
We're losing Spunk, guys. Oh no. No, you are right. We are in a pretty favorable spot, all things considered. Although I would call it more neutral. You know, the game really could swing either way from this point. But if you are our survivors, you're not feeling like all things are lost just yet. You have your gens pretty far away. You have main, and you have all the gens at the bottom side to be working pretty safely away from this hook. You really don't need to be playing for Mike all too hastily just yet. This is only 3 stages, 4 if he was to die on this hook. But obviously, I would assume we will be seeing a last second hook coming in if it is ever free. If not, they might just let him sit, because 2 gens with 3 survivors all up and healthy is pretty easy to achieve. They just can't give away too much for free. Unfortunately for Feature, his rotation has been caught out immediately. It might not be a trade. I think he's going to be able to get it. He is indeed. It will be a tag, but what becomes problematic now is he can play for the fresh, and look at this. We are going to do that. Feature has to play this front main pallet for a little bit. He's going to need to last. We have the Mage Hand to hold it up. We do have the boots of speed to give us that 3% haste. We're going to use the Skulk now to try and get to the pallet a little bit quicker. Feature's just able to get the drop. NF not even going to try to play 50s around it. He's going to break it. Feature heads all the way back to 3, only having the window that we saw Mike be able to last on previously. Feature's going to be able to get the vault back, but with the door very close by, I'm not going to be able to get much distance off of that. We do see the gen pop in the background. There's no pallet in the tile, so that will be Feature's untimely demise. I'm not too sure if this is a pain res, but the 4th gen did pop. still be our 4th stage at 3 fresh. It is a pain resist hit main. Main's only 50% now. Anger was sitting at 4 that entire time. We know he's there. We sent a ball just in case we couldn't see him with our eyes, but I don't think we were ever going to have that problem. He didn't try to save face or not show himself at all. He's just right there sitting on it, though he did take the distance now that NF headed towards there. In the background as well, Mike was reset by Jarms all the way at 6, the gen that did pop. I'm sure Jarms, yeah, already rotated all the way to 8. He's going to be playing for that gen for as long as possible. Anger will be hopping back on main at his nearest convenience, and Mike is rotating for the save, and I also don't think he's going to be spotted out. If we are able to get this, oh, he is just caught by the Eye of Magnus. Unfortunately for him, we're going to probably see him playing for a trade. Anger got a bit hasty as well, dropping off of main just too early. We don't win the 50 of faking the window vault. We don't get 2-tap though. We managed to just avoid the skulls. Unfortunate for Anger that he dropped off. Actually, I think it was calculated. We did go get the unhook just in time. Mike will have to last now for Jarms' gen all the way at 8, and we need to be able to get that gen popping. Actually, scratch all of that. Jarms is just here to make sure that Mike is able to last. We're going to be taking that potty just to ensure he can get as far away as possible. He's playing all the way back towards 7. He has this pallet to play around. He probably has something else deep 8. We need to be a bit careful now. I think someone else is here for a hit take. I'm not too sure if I did just see that. It might have even been Jarms again with the beam and Iron Will to play for a save. Although Mike isn't going down just yet. He's playing some lovely 50s around this pallet at Gallows. He's going to need to last. We see Feature on a gen. I'm assuming Anger is right there with him. They're probably doubling that gen at main. It's about to pop for this chase. And might I say, if we commit to Mike for a bit too long, we take this hook just at the wrong time. We're going to probably drop this now, I would hope. We can't play for this too much longer. Surely you slug NF. We cannot be doing this. If they are out, this is the win for Evolution.
Big W!
Things are getting really scary. But, I mean, they're not out just yet. This is the problem, right? That gate is only 0. He's going to be able to make it there in time. And if he catches one of those... Oh, no, they're just out. Wow,
yeah.
They've taken the set.
Evolution taking a W off of Sea Dragons. They've got to be happy with that. Taking a set off of man himself, the Oni demon, Pig on the Oni, playing the murderous Grizzly, the one with the little cat on its head. And looking at this build, it is an Oni build. You know, everyone runs, pretty much everyone runs a Splintered Hull, Lion Fang. Sometimes you'll see Akito's Crutch instead, with the Eruption, Painers, and all that jazz. Bam as well for the Windows. So Bam, interestingly, no Brutal, but again, I'm not an Oni expert. Bamming the main building, they're just going to be breaking it around. We know that Evo are lurking near this main building, trying to position themselves to not get hit. This is a ping only set, so ideally we don't get hit through pallets here and give away free tags due to the high ping, but that does mean we need to be stealth near resources, and it does look like maybe a more might have been found. I'm not too certain though, but also, we just hop on Jen's Pig, unable to find anyone. It's been a bit of a slow start. He's just lurking around his corrupt at the moment, and I think he's seen a flash of someone there by main, but that remains to be seen. And he has found Anger over here at main, but Anger running the not realizing that the window's been banned. I think this might actually be an early tag because he doesn't have any resources available to him. He didn't go for the power, but he does make the window. Thankfully, no ping hits there. I didn't see if he used Lyle or not, or if he's a different exhaustion. But Pig once again banning the window as Anger rotates over to a different pallet, and I guess he's going to be free throwing that because you don't want to be getting it hit through ping as we go into the main building to continue the chase, Chief.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Anger has started the chase off exactly how you needed it to. He's made main, he's able to play around it despite the window being pre-bammed. He's going to be able to make it back with another round, which is exactly what you need. Although, with that door being broken, we're opting to play towards the pallet. What I want to point out, Smug, and I don't think you freaked out about this enough, we don't have Crutch. That is insane. No speed only gameplay is playing like you have no limbs. I don't know how Pig feels comfortable doing that, but he's going to. We do get that tag. Finally, the ping did help us there. Anger throwing that pallet. He would make it. He does get smash hit as well, able to take that distance to Shaq. First gen did pop for this chase. It's exactly what you needed while playing the Oni. The vault there didn't give us any blood, which I think is a little interesting. That must be a spectator blood because you would normally get a fair bit of blood from a vault, especially with Hull. Although Anger is able to continue to play around Shaq despite that, getting a good pallet drop, making his way back into the map after that. He has tile 5 to play towards, but we're going to go to the 8 side of the map. I'm sure 5 or something thereabouts must be being worked if that is the case. We did know 4 had a fair bit of progress if that wasn't the gen that did pop. Now we're just stuck playing 50s on this pallet. If we do win one, we will be able to make to the tile, but we don't. That will be Anger on the ground. The second gen does pop. Might I say, this is a lovely start for our survivors, but this is also the ideal scenario that is always talked about on the Oni sets. You get the M1 down, you have the power to secure the hook, and my word, we have the unfortunate spectator bug. We will not be looking at that for very much longer. Back to our survivors. We see the survivors pretty evenly spread around the map. Our killer is still stuck there in place. We get a mighty fine view of the lovely bear's face. We know that someone is towards that 9 side. It's actually more 8. Amor is here on the edge map. Feature 2 as well. We have, I believe it was Jarm somewhere top as well. I think all the way at 11. That's the pull coming in as we get the kick. We're going to be able to get as much distance because of that. We're not popping power to make it back either. We might not even be worried about this tunnel. I think we don't care because of how far bottom it was. We care more about our gens and our position than that. So we're going to look for somebody fresh, and look at this. We found somebody here, 10, I believe it is Jarms, and on these LTs with power popped, things can get a bit ugly. In fact, actually, instead of trying to play them at all, we've decided to stealth on the edge map, but I think we've been read all too well. Pig, too smart for that play, Jarms. That's you on the ground. Not a lot of power used for that down. We're going to be able to get this pain res hook 11 as well, right in our 3 gen that we have topside, the infamous 11 main 1 cold tower 3 gen. Although we didn't kick out gen with eruption to have it reset, we still have a very strong position overall.
Yeah, Evo not doing too bad. You got 2 gens, you have a couple pain res smacking the shit out of your high prog gens, which is a disappointment, but we see the reset coming through. Enough blood there to get our power back, and oh dear god, Anger, just using the tree for a bit of cover. We're popping power without seeing a survivor. Very, very, very interesting, but no, I'm lying. We actually do see the survivor. We find him more out of position here, out of matchstick time, and that's going to be another pain res on the board. And Pig, he's starting to pick up the pace. Not too concerned about his early game. He's playing around this mid game very nicely. Getting his power fairly often as well. There's a good bit of blood still available to him on the map to get another power. And with Oni being, I think he's tier 4. Head balancer, by the way. Not too many reset perks available to us that do super fast heals. We get our power back immediately. We know that we got to save around 11, and we're playing around the 3 gen as well. But Evolution are unfortunately struggling to get a successful stealth here. We're popping power again. I don't know if we've seen someone or not. It's a bit hard to tell if we've just sent it. We have seen someone. We found Anger just kind of in the middle a bit, just at a power here. It's not a great power. It's got a bit of a short side. We do go for the pre-throw and try and go around it, but with a bit of a break at the power, we're forced to go die edge map, and this will be yet another down onto Anger, forcing him onto second stage, and I don't think you're going to be able to jiggy around rocks and nothing for too long here, Anger, as he does just accept his fate and die quarter 11, and it's been flipped on its head a little bit. Evolution are struggling to keep up the pressure. At some point, you just got to accept that, hey, Oni's going to be in power. There are too many injured people. We just got to slam gens, I reckon.
No, you're 100% right, and I do think we may be reaching that point very, very shortly. If we aren't able to get these resets all too quickly, we do see Jumps obviously resetting a more in the background. It is a double reset as well, which is lovely stuff, but the blood they're leaving right now is quite a bit, and there's already a little bit of blood on the bottom side of the map as well, so we will be getting power off of that if we are able to find it at any point of the game right now. Would be very, very good. It would also interrupt the reset since we're still here, and look at that, we have found it. That's power in hand. We see 2 survivors. This is where things get really ugly if we aren't careful now. 2 downs on the ground, Anger on hook. Things could just end in a 4k3, but we're actually baiting it. We're baiting the unhook by leaving right now. If we do head in for it, we have actually caught out the saver as well. Look, he's all the way 9. That is going to be stuck on the tile. Anger, unhooked actually. I didn't even realize they got the unhook. My word, I didn't see Evolution manage that at all. I thought we were still on the hook. But we're going to have to play around this pallet at 10. We've actually left the pallet. We're going to head into the inside of the tile, but this will be the flick around Anger dead at 3. We had to spend so much time resetting, so our gen progress is all but gone with all the eruption procs and the pain res that we did get. Things are getting a little dicey now, and I know we do have a fair bit of power bottom still. If we have enough to be able to get our power up again, we do. My word, things may get ugly from here, Smunk.
It's looking pretty bad for Evo now. I think there was just too much resetting going on. The stealth's being found. And just Pig putting up so much pressure that they just, while all these downs and hooks were happening, just not enough gen pressure to keep us in the game. Now we've slowed it down a good bit. We're in the 3v1 now. Everyone's healthy, so we can do some stealthing. But we found jumps here at Shack, but we get the chase and we're just dropping it immediately to go back to our gens. Very interesting, especially considering I'm pretty sure Shack Pallet's already gone. So I'm pretty confident Pig could have got it down there, but maybe he wants FJ for a pain res. I don't really know why he dropped Jams there. I feel like Jams would just call, hey, he's leaving me, go stealth, and then, you know, by the time you get down to sort of the main building generators, Jams is back on that gen over by the mid-map, but I don't know, it's hard, because Oni has such a map presence at the moment with, he's holding power, and you have to pre-stealth, and he's just walking around destroying resources, and you're just in such a poor situation here as Evo, with not a lot to do other than pre-stealthing and praying to whatever god may answer. And it's just slowed down to a halt. They've got to play careful, and if someone gets found, they're just kind of fucked, Chief.
You're 100% right. I think someone has been found. Yeah, indeed, that is Jumps. He's holding a sprint burst for as long as possible. Going to use it to try and prevent the down, but Pig doesn't even care. He spotted it, and he's using it as bait once again. And look at how slow Oni is without Crutch. My word, this is painful to watch if you are someone used to seeing that gameplay. We're actually just trying to venture around for as long as possible. Cash on the out. I'm not too sure if that was Arcro. It wasn't. We've used that info crucially to find a more edge map. He is down on the ground. My word, a snipe from the heavens for Pig. Definitely exactly what he needed at that time. Losing his power there for nothing would have been horrible. But he's done just enough to be able to put his foot back in the leading position. Exactly what you need if you are Pig. But, I mean, hey, it does also give our survivors a little bit of bandwidth. I'm not too sure if Pig has enough power on the bottom side of the map to be able to get it up just yet. It might be smart for him to just wait a little bit and leave one of those orbs. So that way he can get it from the passive. Oh, no, he has more than enough, actually, so never mind that train of thought. We do see, I believe, that someone top mid rotating for the unhook, hoping that they weren't able to get enough power in time, but Pig has been able to masterfully. We're going to get the trade. This will probably just be a down onto Jams' saver, but no, Amor does enough to block him from the window, so we're just going to switch. That will be Amor on his death hook getting chased. We will be forcing the 2v1, but I think Pig is all too aware that Fiji has probably been sitting this gen the whole time. Instead of that, we're not even worried. We caught Jams out. He's used his sprint burst. We found him perfectly, but we're baiting it again. Look, Amor on this eye loop has been caught out as well. We're going to try and get the down yet again. Fiji could still be on that gen for all we know. The HUD is not telling us yet, so we could be seeing that gen pop. If Jump is also close by, he does have the beamer. He might be able to get it. We might even get the pallet save. I don't think we're in it at all. We weren't. Unlucky for our survivors. That is going to be the 2v1 coming in. Jumps here trying to get the blind, securing the 4K2 if we could, but Pig's not even falling for the bait. He's going to head right over to 11 and try to stop this gen. I'm not too sure if he has the time. I think Fiji is not going to greed for the gen.
No, I think he would just die before it, maybe. He might be very confident that, like, hey, no, I can't actually greed this gen. I'm just going to die. And might just take the tag, let him dry kick it, then Jumps can come in and finish off the gen, and then bring us down to a 4K2. That might be the play that they're going for. Or Jams is doing a different gen that's also pretty high prog, so... You know, if Pig does commit to FJ here, he has a lot of resources available to him, so he might buy enough time for Jumps to pop that gen, and then, you know, FJ, if FJ gets hooked, it'll hit that hill gen at 11, and not Jumps' gen, and that'll let him pop it, maybe. But Pig getting enough blood to rotate away, he does find Jumps on his gen. I don't think Jumps get this in time, he's going to walk away. We have two high proc gens. If we play our cards really well, we might get a 4K1. I'll shut the fuck up, never mind. We're getting tapped the power throwing it. Well. Yeah, no, I think we kind of dropped our cards on the floor here, and I think FJ's time is coming soon. Yeah, I know it's Lunar New Year recently, you know, it's Year of the Horse, but this match is looking like Year of the Pig to me, man. And with some of these, like, pardon, like, he's dropping and leaving chasing, coming from strange angles. I'm not even in this goddamn game, and I'm getting mind gamed by this guy. That's a big 4K3 from Pig. Evolution, they had they had every killer or 23 to choose from for these sets, and they willingly said, yep, Pig, you can have Oni, have fun, buddy.
Yeah, they really did give him something he was gonna enjoy. You know, although we are saying that he did 4K3, but it was mighty close to that 4K1. Those gens were very, very close, and I feel like if we weren't baited into taking that unhook in the mid game, which caused Amor's death, it really could have been that 4K1. You know, things were a lot closer than they seemed, despite what the result does tell us.
Now, obviously, all things considered, he's got No Splintered Hull. He's opting for Lion Fang and Akito's Crutch here. So we're going to have less blood, but we're playing around a 4K3 tie or 4K4 win con now against Sea Dragons going for a 4K4 on the Oni when they have Pig to in-house scrim. Unlikely, to say the least, but Gunther, very talented Oni player, is running Painter's Eruption. Bam, Corrupt. No one's surprised. It's like pretty stock sound for Oni. We have 11 here at the pallet. Not quite getting the ping hit that he so desired, but he doesn't get a pallet out the way. Then he's just going to be dropping chase and rotating towards his active gens to try and interrupt them and maybe get a tag somewhere else and get some resources out of the way, closer to Shaq maybe. But definitely a tall order, and even if they do lose, they still got Blight to play around with, so where they might actually do pretty well there. But we found someone here rotating over to a jungle gym next to Shaq, and oh, it's a free tag! No! It's not a free tag effect, barely avoiding that tag there, rotating all the way over to Shaq. Discord is kind of breaking at the moment, so I can't quite tell what's happening, but we get the Shaq powered out the way, we break it immediately, and then we go continue the chase into effect, who is going to be able to maybe potentially make that window there. But oh, Bailey's making that swing too. Now, worth noting as well, Gunther is SCA, which does mean that there isn't like a massive ping difference between these guys. There's still a bit of ping, but it's not like enormous like the Evolution Survivors. The Evolution Survivors had a massive disadvantage. You know, they were on ping versus Pig, and a lot of ping as well. So we get that tag onto effect as we rotate away, and we're just going to be applying Eruption to our generator here in this tile as we rotate away and try and find effect. But no, we're actually dropping effect. Don't give a damn about him. Letting him bleed elsewhere as we go interrupt Dustin's generator as he goes for a cheeky pre-leave down towards 1. But so far, it's a high gen progress. It's looking like a Sea Dragon W here with no down coming in yet, Chief.
No, you are right. I mean, look, getting the tag and being able to leave apply Eruption on your gens is typical Oni gameplay. You're trying to get the second tag. The Life actually might not be able to get us this pallet with the ping involved. Yeah, we are going to get the tag through the pallet, and that will mean we have power. We did see Niaz rotate off his gen to be able to reset effect in the background, meaning Sakuta's gen is the only gen being worked right now, and it is low progress. But I do want to point out, obviously, a little unfortunate for our killer player of Gunther. We have 2 jungles on the map, which is definitely not what you want to be seeing on the Coal Tower. We've nearly caught it. Without effect yet again, swinging through that pallet. I do want to point out, you mentioned it a bit earlier, we are on a lot less ping. Gunther gets about 65 ping to Hong Kong, which are the servers we are playing on, which is a lot less than our other survivors of Evolution did have to play on, which will mean, you know, those swings that we did see coming through across on those pallets not connecting, which looked like they could have very well hit on the 180 ping we were expecting, just didn't connect because they were on that so much less ping, basically a third. Gunther, interestingly, still not popping his power. He's playing for this M1 down on effect on main. He's taking the M1 tag. I think he's just trying to let them bleed as much as possible to get as much power on the field so he can snowball later on, which is definitely a valid playstyle. But when this gen is already so close to popping, there you go, this is the first gen of the trial and a second coming in. Hold on, we've just caught another survivor as well. This is going to be yet another tag. Gunther, surely we're going to pop our power anytime soon. What's going on here? We need downs to start coming in. Here it is. We have 2 survivors injured. I'm sure we're going to leave both of them, try to get it down onto somebody who is healthy, get as much blood on the field as possible. Actually, no, we're just going to cut this person off from 11. My word. I mean, we've done amazingly there to be able to get back into main and get the down onto effect, but it is one of the injured survivors we worked so hard to get an M1 tag on. I'm not too sure that was the plan, considering we did go for so many M1 tags, but you know, I do think it's really interesting we decided to play like that. But look at this. We're actually playing so aggressive now. We've gotten enough power to pop power yet again, and we're going to head right away with it. An instant pop to try and get a snowball down from this position, Smunk.
Yeah, Gunther playing around his power very interesting. It looks like it's about to pay off though, as he does find Sakuta unfortunately missing the Demon Dash there, getting hit onto the wall and then blinded, as well as unfortunately getting the power drop on his head as he rotates back down towards the hook to try and find someone else. I was very confused as to why he didn't just pop power on effect there, and it looks like he's going to be coming into effect now. He does have the 15-second BT, so effect will still be under protection. We know NEA is somewhere here, but he's got the Alliance Fang duration, so he can afford to stay in power for a little bit longer. I do wonder if he is able to get this down, but he misses the down onto effect. He is committing to his timeline. He has a couple of jungle gems here to work with, but I think that part is gone, and it looks like Gunther's just rotating away. He's got a B stick, a Demon Dash left. I do wonder if he's able to get that tag onto 11, but no. He runs out as another gen pops in the background. I'm not too sure why Gunther held his power for so long on effect when he could have just popped power and downed him about 4 years ago. It's just a very odd decisions, but maybe I'm not an Oni gamer. Maybe there's a method to the madness that I'm just not aware of. So I won't judge it. But we do find Effect once more here at a 4 lane. Not a very strong tile to work with here. Unfortunately, not getting that M1 tag. Effect is playing phenomenally this game. Just barely making it out of dodge with all these M1s, and Gunther will be dropping that chase to try and find a fresh hook because he does need it. He needs to go for a slug spree if he wants to try and play around this tie, although it's looking very dire now, and injured survival was on this generator. So there should be a little bit of blood nearby, but it's not actually too much. We find Sakuda here, our sprint burst player, but he is healthy. We missed that M1 there, which is super unfortunate. But with how many people are injured on the map, you'd think there'd be so much blood available to Gunther to just use and pop power willy-nilly with how much, hitting and running he did early on. But I don't know where these gamers have been bleeding, if it's all just coagulating around 1 and 2. And with that gen popping, Evo have lost the Oni set, and the win goes to Sea Dragons. No, Gunther will be playing for best as all possible as he does collect all the blood at main, and he locks eyes with Dustin Henderson, as I dare say he's going to pop power unless he does this psychotic thing where he goes for an M1 before popping power. I don't know why he's doing this, Chief, and honestly it's starting to piss me off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, I obviously am not as experienced as Gunther or any of the other Oni players you have on this team. You have Burrito, and you do have the likes of Feature, who is quite experienced on Killer as just in general, right? But yeah, I really don't get this. I play it like as an Oni player, I really don't understand the method here. I think, yeah, no, I have actually no thought. I don't know why we're doing it. It is a little frustrating. I feel like we could have potentially got this. You have a theory. Let's hear the Smug theory.
Let me set the stage really quick. We're on the McMillan estate, right? Cold Tower 1, McMillan, Evan McMillan, the Trapper. He's playing Trapper right now.
Oh my word, he's playing the Trapper Dead by Daylight. He might be playing the Trapper Dead by Daylight. And if he was playing the Trapper Dead by Daylight, I would be confused why he hasn't used his power still. Unlucky if we are the Gunther No Mercy. It's really hard. Look, I'm gonna drop the act a bit. Obviously, I said this a bit earlier. I couldn't even hide it. Gunther is one of my best friends, like just in general. So it's really, really difficult to watch him play in a way that just seems so counterintuitive. It feels like he's really played this in such a way that it felt like the game was out of reach before it began, because he's just not used the Oni power. He's loving the M1. He's still loving the M1. We've had power for 3 minutes. We've chased 3 separate survivors and we've still not popped it. Surely you're gonna pop it now. He has nothing. He has a pallet on a 4 lane, but we take the M1. Anyways, I don't understand what's going on. Is our shift key broken, Gunther? I need to be told. I'm going to be messaging him after this game to find out, because I really want to know what the train of thought is here. But nevertheless, I mean, he's taking another M1 chase with power on a 50 rock, and we're gonna play the 50s with M1 on the rock. When we have our power, we're gonna lose the 50 in M1. Whilst we have power. I mean, I feel like
we're using it!
We're using it! And we're gonna go top. We're leaving the chase. This is the thing you don't want to do, because the gen is about to pop, and I was gonna say this, I wouldn't be too surprised that gen's gonna pop, because we did chase the survivor in M1 with power in our hands for 90 seconds. I really don't know what's going on, Spunk. I really don't know what's going on. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. The only explanation I have is that maybe Gunther, the win con came and went, and he just sort of was like, oh, whatever, I'll just fuck around and, M1 Evan McMillan trap cosplay my way to the rest of this match. But he does pop power eventually and slugs Effect and goes to find someone else. So he'd be probably walking out of here with 3 stages, 1 fresh. I'm not too sure, even early on in the game, he had someone prior to the 3rd gen getting done at edge map. I think it was Dustin. Or Effect with someone, and he had power in his hand, and they were at edge map and they were fucked. And he M1'd them and then continued to chase them, and then popped power way later. So I don't really know if there was some sort of method or plan that Gunther was trying to go for, go for a bunch of injuries, get a bunch of blood on the map, and then just go for a slugfest, and maybe that plan didn't work, or if maybe Evolution kind of went, it's chalked, just fucking do whatever while we scrim up light match in the background or something, I don't know. I maybe just, a plan, an esoteric plan that didn't come to fruition. I can't really explain it.
But Gunther's been away for a very long time. He hasn't been playing Killer for so long. Even when he returned recently with Source in Season 5 and to play in the World Cup for Team Thailand, he wasn't playing Killer at all. It was all X-Tap. Even on the Killers he played the most. And last week we did see him play Killer for Source, and it was 4 stages on MM. I'm not too sure how confident Gunther's going to be feeling in his Killer, especially after a 1 stage on Oni. But if there is a man to do it at the end of the day, it will be G Money, right? It is Gunther. He's one, like I said, one of the best blights to ever do it in our region, maybe in the world at all, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get a 4K1, 4K2, put up a really good showing, even though it is Sea-Drag serves. And if he does that,
Sorry.
yeah, I agree. It's going to be really tough. He needs to play out of his mind. He definitely has a build to do it. Ruin Deadlock is the stall build. But it will come down to how good his survivors play. I think Pig is going to have a harder time than Gunther is in the mechanics field because he's definitely not as confident on the killer as Gunther. But it will come down to if they, on the survivor side, can keep up.
Yeah, we do find someone off rep at main building here. So a good start for Gunther. Looking at his build as well, we have Double Speed, Blight, shocking absolutely no one. With Deadlock, Ruin, Eruption, Corrupt. It feels like Eruption is working against two of those perks, but it's still a pretty good perk. Champion of Light, straight off rip from Justin, as we continue the chase here over Blight. I don't actually know where we are at the moment. It's a little bit blurry, but wherever we are, it's got no resources. We do get a nice little tag there on Dustin that we're just going to be leaving. As we rotate onto someone else, unless this is Dustin, the Discord stream lagged a little bit because Discord's kind of having a fit just across the board. So I'm really sorry if it's not, I'm not really describing everything great, but we do find someone over here trying to use our bump logic to the best we possibly can. No, it was a nice flick, but not quite coming into contact with 11 here as we are taking the chase right next to our ruin. So not a bad place to take a chase as we continue to break the shack part here. Getting that strong resource right out the way as a reset does come through on Dustin fairly quickly. So not a lot of gen progress being had at the moment. And we're chasing our actors, which is probably why we drop the chase into Dustin. Very nice tag there onto 11 who rotates back over to Shack, but with no Shack power available to them, we're praying on like a head-on or something. Or a connecting filler pallet, and we do have a connecting filler pallet, and we're just going to be breaking that with two rushes there on the side of Gunther. So we should be able to kill 11 right here, right now, and get a nice little basement hook as our rushes do come back. But no, we missed the second rush. We weren't patient enough. We should have gone for the third bounce and downed her before she was able to get off the pallet at the 4 lane. And 11 doing a fantastic job of being very patient at the 4 lane, but she's just jiggied away. She's off in Narnia. We see someone here ready for the power save or to take a hit. I think that's Dustin, and we drop the power. We go for the blind. We get the champion of light, and it's all flipped back on its head. Now we're on Dustin. 11 is gone. She's in Narnia. What could have transferred into a really nice early down and a potential basement hook on one side of suffocation pit has turned into disaster, Chief.
No, it definitely has. You are right. Sorry, I'm having a few issues keeping up with what's going on. I think Discord is having some international problems right now. It's making it quite difficult. I have a fair bit of delay in the stream. So I'm not even too sure if what I'm watching right now is exactly what you guys are seeing. But, you know, we do have this chase onto effect. We're stuck on this filler 10. We have to play the 50s for our life. He does win this one. He's going to win a second as well, playing all the way around that rock, but because of Blight's rushes, that will be the down eventually onto effect. We will take this pick as well, finally able to get our first hook of the game, but it definitely has come at a very poor time. We did see a gen pop. I know that there's another one, pretty high progress nearby as well, and Ruin is gone. Actually, I know why that gen didn't pop. It was because of the deadlock. It's exactly why you bring it to a step like this. It means you have to rotate away, and if you find the stealth, Ruin's going to chip away. Take that chase, and look at this. It did save us again. I think it is a lovely perk. Beautiful find for Gunther as well. We managed to find Nears. We're not going to commit it. We're going to apply Eruption to the gen at main. The unhook does come in the background as well. We might be able to get a quick down onto effect. I'm not too sure if we have much to play on the top side. We're going to be able to take as much distance towards bottom. Gunther is not rushing after them to take a BT hit, which you can do on Blight for a very quick 2-tap instead. We've going to effect all the way back towards 8, which has proven to be a bit problematic for him already. You know, he wasn't able to get the down all too quickly here before, but no more nightmares anymore. We get the down now, and that is Deli. It is a very good find, as you just spotted. Unfortunately, though, we do have one gen ready to pop on the bottom side, and that gen at main is going to be worrying if we're not able to make it back in time. I'm not too sure. Actually, make me eat my words yet again. Deadlock, I keep forgetting this perk is in play, but my word, am I glad to see it. I swear down. Gunther and Obi are the two men that I've seen believe in this perk, and I have praised it to the nth degree on this set. I think it is incredible. It's just saved us a gen yet again, Smunk. I'm glad you let it through.
Yeah, Deadlock's a very interesting perk. You know, other lower tiers you don't see it a lot because you're generally going to bring regression over or something passive like Deadlock. But on your tier 1s, you can get really good value, as we've seen this match, you know. It saves us those multiple gens popping and the survivor sort of rolling you if you have a couple bad chases. And Deadlock's coming out of the dodge now, and we get it down onto 11. We see someone going for the pop onto 12. They really want to get that gen done, but it's also the injured Dustin. But Gunther's kicking a pallet for some reason. You're going to make me start freaking out here, man. You're going to go interrupt that generator. It's getting done. Dustin's doing it. You saw that own certification. Go to the main building, Jen. Go do it. Go disrupt him. Go down him. Go slug him. Then go chase Jen and then get a 4K3. Please do it. No. Where are we going? Go back. You know he's there. Please. I'm gonna start
I don't
tweaking.
think he knows.
There
Now he knows.
There was a
Now
loud
he
noise
knows.
notification, but it's fine.
Yeah,
We're
it was
taking
the
chase from
eruption.
Jen.
We are going to get the trade as well. The Jake will be on the ground, and we're going to be able to body block effect a little bit. We can take the early BT tag. Please, Gunther, don't let him make all the way bottom. We are going to get the picks that might have even been unbreak, which is so unfortunate. This is it single-handedly allowed D-Drag to get back into the game. You're right. We really could have 4K3'd if we just went to main. We're not going to win that 50 by swings through the pallet. We're just going to break. We give effect further back into the map. We're stuck water tower. We are able to make this pallet because Gunther hasn't rushed just yet. He does bait it out though. This will be effect dead on the ground. 2 gens remaining. Every survivor in the background did manage to reset in time. That was a triple reset. So it's a 3v1 at 2 gens. I'm not sure how much progress we have left. I'm not too sure if it's too much, but I think that gen we did just hear bot mid wearing at about 40% is probably all that we have left. I mean, there's also the chance, you know, it's C-Drags. They could just have something at 99 right now that we don't know about, but I doubt it. All in all, I don't think the position is too bad.
It's not a bad position at all. They did spend that time chasing Claudette to get everyone up and get a bunch of resets going. We have balance standing on Dustin as well, so he's going to make a good bit of distance. Our gens are social distancing though, so we don't really have one side we can kind of stick to for a hook. So we're going to play super aggressively here. We see Sakuda working a gen that's about 50%. Gunther unfortunately missing that short swing there as he does try and build up the blood loss. And it's fairly short power. That is a bit difficult to use Blood's power around. Dustin finally throwing that power, and Gunther has taken that as an opportunity to leave. As he rotates over to interrupt Nia's gen as he goes to try and get a flicker there onto the 11, but unfortunately doesn't quite come through to fruition, as she does make the window. Recalling back to earlier when I said the Lana's notification was eruption, I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because I'm fairly sure it happened like not after the gen, and it was next to the gen, not on the gen. So I think it was someone either fucking up a heal or what, but we do miss another M1 tag anyway, but we bugger up our Vault, and Gunther's able to collect a tag onto Nia there, as Sakuda and Lin are likely working a generator in the background there. Lin on one side, Sakuda on the other, and we kind of need to get this down ASAP, and we will manage to get the down, but it's out of corner, and 1 gen pops. Thankfully, we don't get the double gen going off theirs. We see Deadlock wrapping a gen all the way over at 11, so all things considered, it's looking a bit rough for Gunther.
Yeah, it definitely is. Deadlock might have just honestly saved the game for us entirely. That Gen 11 could be very, very high progress. We won't find out just yet, but we do see Dustin over there. Lin, he will probably wrap it very, very shortly. Although, the beautiful thing about Deadlock is it's a double-edged sword. Not only did we stop the Gen from popping with it, but we have the information. It's the one that's being worked. We know it's the most progress. It's only 50%, so we're not too worried about it yet. This was an immediate pull. We're not even able to hit the BT. That's so unfortunate. We've just run out of our rush. So, Nia will escape without the tag, having our BT to make it all the way bottom. So Gunther's going to opt to make the heads up play to head back to 11 and ensure this gen doesn't pop whilst we piss around on top mid. We just need to find Lin here now, but problems as well. Actually, I think Lin was the one who unpulled, no? Which means Sakuda's the one on the gen. He's all the way at bottom. So now we have to go all the way there. Maybe committing the chase to bottom would have been the play, because this gen at 7 we know is 50% at least.
Gunther able to interrupt this generator here, marking option on both the high prog gens. This is looking like outs at this point in time though, as the gens are just so far apart that you can't really. Oh, hello 11. Very fortunate find there for Gunther. He's able to get the quick 2-tap. That would be a great boon for him. But this is a tier 1 set that we do have things like Dead Hard in play, so it depends on what exhaustion Nia has. But I think we're not going to be able to Dead Hard that, as we do get hit over the pallet going there, which will trigger eruption on both of our gens, and he is able to net himself another hook onto Nia. Now, depending on how quick this next chase is, he might actually be able to convert it into a slug and then try and find the last person and maybe get a 4K1 or a 4K0. I feel like on the Blight set, you got a 4K. We see Lin here working the generator, but Sakuda's stealth in basement, which is a big play from him, because I don't think Gunther's going to be checking the basement, and no calls unfortunately being made, so Lin is going to be able to get caught off guard a little bit there. But with the power break coming through, with the resource right next to the gen, we will be able to get that champion alive value there, slowing down Gunther by about 20%. Balance landing helping us out just a little bit, but we're just going to be chasing our main building now, which is the highest prog gen. So unhook campaigning onto Nia there. We should be able to get this tag onto Lin, and that does connect, which is great to see. We should be able to convert this into a down onto Lin, which is a huge boon for Gunther here, as it is another fresh. But I am curious to see if he has any resources at the front of main. A lot of chasing has been done here, so I'm not sure, but we do get the down onto Lin, which is great great thing for Gunther here, as we actually saw a reset happening onto Nia instead of progress being made on the gem. So if we're able to just go back to 11, kick that gem, and then go all the way back down to Nia Shack and kick that gen as well, we should be peachy. And we do see Nia as well lurking near the choke as well. I'm ready to see Blight cross and then work his way up to get the pull, and then probably double this generator over at 11, and that should be game.
Yeah, it definitely should be game. It would be very, very crucial for Gunther to find Sakuda. He does get eyes as he leads into Shack. Unfortunately, predicting the window vault with that flick does not get a tag for it. Sakuda just reads it nicely and plays back into Shack. Holding his distance around on the inside now, Gunther will vault in. This is the chase he definitely wants to commit. This is the final fresh hook. Being able to secure a death onto Sakuda now would result in what? 8 stage 4 fresh, which is all in all from this position not a terrible result to be getting, although definitely did want to play for the 4K, and hey, if he does get a bit sluggy now, there is the potential. He's going to get Eruption on that Gen 11 if this down comes in quickly. He's not unable to get this down just yet with that second rush, but the third is just enough to connect. 3 rushes, just about to be back. He will have 5 in another couple of seconds. The gens are wearing, as we did just see, but it's not enough for it to pop just yet. One of our survivors is injured, and one of them is Deathhook. If we are able to find one right now, the 4K one is back on the cards.
And I think we're about to find Nia here, lurking near the edge map, and we do find it there, but that's unbreakable on Sakuda. So he's going to be right back on that generator, mucking up a dash there onto our least preferred survivor. I feel like we should have just taken that basement hook on Sakuda and called it there, because that was probably the safest play, but I think Gunther definitely wants to try for this 4K. But with how the generators are looking with the pickup happening there in the background, it's looking grimmer and grimmer as the day goes on. Unfortunately, also missing that rush there. 11 able to jiggy out of the power just in time to avoid that hit. We see the gen being done in the background there. He needs to drop this chase and try and find Sakuda. Thankfully, to his benefit, all of the generators are on this side of the map, and Sakuda is by the Shack, and he's going to be, I think, found there just in time. So these 2 survivors need to get out the door and give Sakuda Shack. We can't afford to let him live here. I am curious to see if he has anything available to him. He does have a Lies, but I don't think he makes that part in time. That will be a down and a hook in basement, and this will be, if I can imagine numbers in my head real quick, this will be 9-4.
9. Yeah, nah. 9-4. Good result. All things considered, I think considering like the start, the really long chase, and the switching, did mean that 9 stage 4 fresh is probably pretty good. Although, once again, it did look like the 4K came back. The amount of value Deadlock got on this set, I need to add, by the way, was incredible. Like, you love to see it. I will preach this perk's value in a set like Blight forever. People need to wake up to this perk. Trust me, it is going to be game-changing for some of these sets. Start running it. Try it. At least give it a go in your scrims. Also, keep in mind that whatever approach you do decide to take can just be disrupted by the killer player, and Pig is the caliber of player to be able to do those things. We will just have to see what they decide to do and who's running what build. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Mike on Deli. Very, very common for him to be in that sort of role. Stealth, Demon, can't find him in the best of times. Sure, he's going to be in a role like that, and we're going to give our other 2 survivors of Anger and Amor, who are your confident chase survivors, the chase builds. We'll find out just in a second. We are loading in as I speak. Pig is on the killer once again, if you are not aware, and we do have your regular survivors of Jarms, not Feature, Anger, Amor, and Mike on the set. We do have Mike with Dead Hard and Deli. We have your other chase builds on the other survivors, and Jarms on the Sprint Burst, I would believe, considering we had Deli Dead Hard, which I think is very, very interesting. Pig is all I want to point out. Smunk is already up the map too. We have immediately found a survivor. He's taking his first rush. We're not going to be able to get a tag from these first 3. We're just going to exhaust on the pallet. We knew that it was going to be a bit difficult from that position, taking the M1 if we could, but Anger's able to slap the pallet in his face, but because the Blight does have rushes back, he's not going to be able to take much distance away from the pallet. We're just going to play the 50s. We would have lost that if we didn't have life in our pocket, but we've done just enough with the exhausting to be able to avoid that tag for a little bit longer. We do finally take this tag with 2 rushes, but it does give us access to the rest of main building. I'm sure the rest of our survivors now have been able to cross. Anger has unfortunately just vaulted into the loving embrace of Pig, but he is unable to connect his rushes. Sorry, I'm a bit bewildered by, once again, the audio delay that we do have, Smunk. I'm not too sure. What I'm watching is what I'm listening to, and it's throwing me off. Either way, Anger has been caught out. That is him down. I finally just heard him drop to the floor now. Pretty good start, all things considered, for Pig.
Yeah, he has, for Evolution's benefit, Anger is a DS player here, so this is the person that they want to get tunneled out. Pig is kind of like a master craftsman of faking leaving. It's very strange how often he does. He did it all the time on Oni. He would pretend to chase someone and then he would fuck off and then he would come back. And it would constantly be this back and forth. And hang on, our streamer has just restarted. Very good. We're back to normal. Oh, this is good. Thank you. Thank you, streamer. And we found Amor at the shack. Immediately throwing Shack and getting the Shack pallet out the way. We see Anger getting helped out in the background. Amor throwing the pallet on the wrong side. Can't be doing that, mate. As we do get the taser on Amor, who is our bounce landing player, but with Alert, we are able to read Blight's movements through the wall. But unfortunately, we hesitate a little bit in front of that locker and do go down on the side of the active gens. Pig showing that he's a lot more comfortable on Blight than what I've been led to believe, and his mechanics on Blight seem to have a very solid foundation. Getting his second fresh hook onto Amor there. I'm not sure if there's anyone else nearby. Oh, he's found someone at the edge map. How has he clocked this in? I don't know if maybe Jumps does something with scratch marks and he just knew or what, but Jumps being found in a very, very bad spot. He's all the way at the edge over here with nothing to work with. He's just going to have to take a tag. And we're playing pubs at the moment. We're right on the edge map. We kind of forced ourselves in a bit of an awkward position here, and we're already down. I said that Evolution could potentially take it, but it's looking real grim, Chief.
It is looking really, really grim. I did not expect anything like that from Jams at all. That is, honestly, that is a game-losing play. That is really unfortunate. You know, you've given Pig 2 hooks bottom on top of gens that you need to be popping, with 2 survivors probably stuck top. We're not gonna, like, I don't even know what you do from this point if you are Evolution. This is a really sticky situation to try and get yourselves out of. You somehow need to get both of these unhooks for free. And look, Mike is already here. This is gonna be a trade. You can't be affording a trade at this state of the game with the hooks like this. A trade is problematic even more so. Look, Mike's on the ground. Jams is still on the hook. We're actually giving him some distance by taking the hook onto Mike, which I don't even know if we needed to do. We could have left him on the ground, hit Amor's BT, and then tried to just down him immediately. Anger is all the way topside, sitting a gen, trying to not get 4k5'd. Oh, Mike, it's Deli. Okay, actually, things have worked out beautifully for our survivors. That is so beneficial that we've decided to take that hook. That makes it even worse on the side of Pig to be able to take that hook. I feel like you should have just slugged that and tried to get him more down as soon as possible. Hit the BT, and then just go for a quick 2-tap with the rushes. But finally, Anger in the background is going to take that. It's going to pop that gen. Amor is on the ground once more as well. Worth mentioning. We did have a little bit of a missed rush, but we were able to recover nicely. So this will finally be a hook on the top side. We did stabilize after that unfortunate scenario, but it did cost us an extra 3 hook stages. And if we aren't careful right now, Anger may be costing us another. But he is able to avoid the rushes. Pig's flick unable to connect. We're able to make it to this pallet. We're not going to drop it with short swinging through it. Giving Anger the outside of the pallet, he will be able to play around this for as long as possible until the Blight gets his rushes. Even then, this pallet is relatively safe, even with rushes. So it will be interesting to see if we're able to make it back, but the ping does assist Pig a little bit. He's able to get that tag onto Anger, and he's not being able to take too much distance playing back to the backside of main. Pig will cut him off, though, as we make this pallet at 11. If we do get this down here, I will be saying the game might just be over already.
Yeah, it's not looking good here. I'm thinking Evolution might be having a bit of a Pig diff. I'll be honest, this man is just a monster on seemingly every killer he plays. We do pop another gen in the background there, but everyone's also injured. Mike about to pop Shack as well, which is great. We do see Anger healing himself on the same side of the hook. The one good benefit we have here is that on this side of the map, these 2 generators are pretty close to main. Amor looking like he's going to get camped to death. I don't think Anger's going to be able to take this trade unless Pig hits him, but he realizes last minute that, hey, that's actually a really bad idea to tag him, and Anger doesn't make it, because if Pig had actually hit him there, he would have been able to make that trade. So Pig doing a good job last minute not hitting Anger there, which is great to see, and just Anger immediately getting 2-tapped afterwards. Very good conversion there from Pig. So he's very much in the game for a big W here. It's looking like a 4k1. I think Evo might be able to squeeze out another gen on the other side of the map, but it's very much looking like 4k1 territory. Maybe even 4k2 if Jams and Mike get caught out in a reset. That could potentially happen. But that remains to be seen as Anger does go onto his second hook. Worth noting as well, Mike also does have Dead Hard in his back pocket. Keep in mind as well, while Gunther was playing Blight, you know, the survivors are only on about 60 ping, which is fairly normal. Whereas Evo survivors have willingly taken a bit of a ping diff of like I don't know what they get an extra, like, I think it's like 130, 140, something like that, for the benefit of having Gunther be able to play killer. Now, so these survivors are on very high ping, so please do keep that in mind, and Sea Dragons were not on high ping. Mike going for a bit of a greed there, but getting tagged over the pallet. I'm sure that looked much worse on his screen, but this allows Jarms to convert towards the top side of the map and get that unhook onto Anger, and I just don't know how they pull it back from here, Chief.
I completely agree. I think this game's result is a foregone conclusion. I think Seadrag will be taking the step, which is really unfortunate. I feel like Evolution kind of beat themselves in this set, especially with that last second trade attempt from Anger. You kind of just have to accept that Amor was going to be dead on that hook. You weren't making that trade, and you know, it is the truth. Anger is also once again just kind of caught completely out of position. He may just be taking another quick down, which is really unfortunate. I don't know. I'm a bit disappointed by the game he's played personally tonight. I feel like if you had just decided to take that reset, stealth, play for a top gen, not be here for this pallet save either, there was really a chance you were able to play back into it. He did tree tech him, that is lovely stuff, but we do only have another edge map pallet to play around. We did lose the 50, but won it by doing nothing. Pig not winning it, but losing himself as well. That will be another down onto Anger. We're just going to take the 2 slope. Mike has to be somewhere. He's just sitting a gen. Jumps and picked himself up with Unbreak. We're going to go right on back. He doesn't have a lot to work around. He has the SB, baited it out with a random swing. We're going to be stuck on another edge map pallet. We've nearly caught him out there. We're going to try to drop it in the face of Pig, but to no avail. There's John's back on the ground. Now, it's Operation Find the Michael. And if we're able to do that, that will be our 4K2 secured. Smunk.
I think Mark's going to be able to pop this gen just barely in time, but no, he gets caught out rotating for the pickup. Anger and Jarms seem to be bringing out their pub demons in 2 different ways. Anger trying to greed for a power save and dying in the process. Jarms kissing the edge map the entire game. 2 very different sides of the pub play coin, but we are committing to a chase here on Mike. Mike does have dead hard, so there is a decent chance that he's able to get a dead hard, but no, he just unfortunately gets his skull caved in there, which is unfortunate, but okay, too big. I think this entire series can be summed up with Pig Diff. It is a Pig Diff.
Yeah.
Pig Diff and Gunther, unfortunately, just being very rusty. You know, just a bit off the mark a little bit, not too confident in his Oni. Blight looked a little rusty, and just not back into the swing of things. I think if he, you know, had the time, I don't know Gunther personally, so I don't know what's going on in his personal life. If he's like at university maybe, or if he's busy with work. You know what? Fucking base. Fuck this dog shit game. Go back to playing Deadlock. Deadlock is so fucking good. That's all I've been doing as well. It's why I've been doing well in my games as well, because I've just been playing fucking Deadlock. You know what, man? All is forgiven. That game's awesome.